And welcome back to the Flow Sports Fix. And something special for you folks. We're reaching out. We're going back to Mother Russia, you might say. We've got a bottle.
Don't ever do that again, Clayton. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yes, I'm sorry. I do apologise. But the reason for that is because we're actually talking to someone in St Petersburg, Russia, because they love AFL, they love their footy, and they play it over there. And we're going to find out all about that. And joining us on the line from the St Petersburg Cats, we have got Slava Belov. Slava, how are you? And welcome to Flow. Welcome to Australia.
Hello, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Slava, while we can't get to see you face-to-face at the moment due to COVID restrictions around the globe, we can watch you guys go at it on places like Instagram and other social media. And I noticed that you don't mind putting the whistle in the mouth, so not only do you understand a kick and a catch when it comes to the AFL, but you're pretty well versed on the rules as well. What's umpiring like for you?
Umpiring been good for me, so let me put it this way. So I started AFL here in St Petersburg back in 2014, so I was a jack of all trades, so I run the training, so I manage all the field, and at some point I realized that the biggest point of growth for the sport here is the umpiring, because it was, believe it or not, at the beginning we played here in St Petersburg without umpiring. And it really, and we were very limited in our growth because, it's everyone's just kicking and running and no one knows what to do. And at some point I just realized that the only way for me to grow this sport is being an umpire. I can say that one of the reasons I choose to be a part of AFL community because of the community itself, because it's very easy for example, I got my umpire's certification very easily. It's available online. It cost me, I believe, it's 12 Australian dollars or something, and it was easy to go through all this process. And the support I received from AFL Europe, from the organization that's running, and umpiring, it's a really good way for me to develop as a person. So I really like to help people, to communicate with them, to share the love for the sport, and at the same time, I ensure that this love for the game is conducted in safe environment, because it's contact sport. Yeah, I think in the last 3 years I conducted more than 30 games, and with the game days, because in Europe we sometimes have one-day competition when a lot of teams come together and they play 12 minutes games, but they play it all day. So and you umpire all day. So it's something like this in terms of umpiring. So, and I really love to do it, and I find comfortable myself in this role, and it's been great for me.
I tell you what, in terms of getting a sport going, you cannot play without umpires, Clayton. You know that.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it, number one. But getting some interest in people from overseas to actually play our game is one thing, but getting some interest around officiating, coaching, doing all the things off the field that need to happen. How do you go about doing that over there, Slava? Have you got coaches at a level to help out, trainers, all of those things that you need to put around an Australian rules football team?
Again, it's we have great people in AFL Europe. Great shout outs to Ryan and all people from AFL Europe who are doing this. They have a special program, for example, when we started in 2014. Back then it was Mr. Ben McCormack. What they do, basically, they provide their startup club program. So basically what I did, I submitted the application and said, hey, I want to run the club in St. Petersburg, and I want to, back in the day we had teams in Moscow, and I said I want to bring Moscow teams and Nordic teams like from Finland, from Sweden, and so they can play together in St. Petersburg and to make a footy hub here. And they send me, as a part of the program, they send me footies. They send us the second-hand jerseys. We still use them, and it's really helped on the at the very beginning because as they mentioned on their website, it's hard job to run their amateur club, and it's very little rewarding in the very beginning. I remember when it started, and I came to their training session. We were, I think, just in the public park, and I remember times when it was like myself and the bag of balls, bag of footage. So I just the saying, build it, they will come, and you just keep it running. And when new people come, they see that, hey, something's going on, and you just try to retain these people. You try to communicate them why you are. In my experience, it's their footy has this stickiness. So as soon as people can kick the ball and catch it, and they realize they can run in whatever direction they want, and there is no offside, and they love it. So the dynamic of the sport, and the biggest challenge was to have these first folks to get around, because to have people for the team. So, and in terms of coaching, again, you either can have it's all resources available online with AFL junior certification, with AFL coaching level 1 certification, which is free, and it's one thing. And another thing, in 2018, we had St. Petersburg Cup in St. Petersburg, and we hosted Finland team. We have people from Moscow. As part of this tournament, AFL Europe conducted a coaching course for us. And we had big turn into this coaching session, and we had 11 people certified. And later we had a joke that sometimes we have more certified coaches in St. Petersburg, more than average turning around to the training, because we're still a small community again. So you have 8 people on the training, and you have 11 certified coaches. So, and everyone is certified coach that is presented. And it's great because everyone knows the basics, and it really gave a great boost for us. So, yeah.
Excellent. Let's talk about the competition structure that you've got going there. Obviously, St Petersburg Cats plays at provincial level, but in St Petersburg itself, how many teams do you have? How do you make that work?
So basically, in St Petersburg, we have one community. So yes. It's like one organization, one group of people. So when we started, my idea was we have a club, and club St. Petersburg Cats, and we played against Moscow, we played against Finland at St. Petersburg Cats, and as we grow, it is an important thing because I understand that for you it's easily understandable difference between club and team. So you can have one club, you can have multiple teams, you can have netball team as part of the club. As for Russia, it's sometimes people think about it as interchangeable. So team equals club, and it's the people on the field is the club, but it's not something I try to bring. I try to bring the idea that club is some third place, some social. It's a club in the first place, and then it's a sport club. So it's some place where we just spend time together because we choose to. And as the community grew, we realized that we can play. So back when we started in 2000, first game we played in 2015, and we scored 1 goal for the whole game day. We lost a lot of matches because no one knows. So I wasn't the person in the field who ever played the sport, and even for me, I have played it, but I actually cannot build there. So I try to. So you cannot train for the game day. You should be there. So it's a different experience. But we lost a lot of games, and back then we played like 5 games a year. So we played two rounds in St. Petersburg, 2 rounds in Moscow, and probably one game there in Finland, or Finland team came to us, and we realized that it's very few games, so it's unbelievably low. And at some point, we just split our roster into 2 teams, and we start playing every given Saturday. So we just go, and because for a lot of people still it was like during the spotlight eyes when they got the ball, because you do it like
sure
10 times a year and you don't know what to do. But when it's a routine, people just they started didn't care. So if it tackle, it's tackle. I will just keep myself going. And it really helped. I think we started in 2018. So we just started play. We said it's going to be the second team, Tigers, and we played Tigers versus Cats. And we said that it's going to be St. Petersburg AFL, St. Petersburg Australian Football League SPAFL. And at some point we realized that having Tigers and Cats, it's how do I say it? It feels like you have their first team and second team. And because when we go to play abroad, we still were Cats jumpers. So we realized that it's not good. And we just had a voting for the new team name, and I really wanted to have something not from AFL, because it's at this point I realized that it's all across Europe. You have all these Dockers, Giants, but people voted for Hawks. And we have now Northern Tigers and Baltic Hawks, who 2 teams participating regularly in SPAFL. And as to make it official with the St. Petersburg Cats, now it's an honorary club. So we have the St. Petersburg Federation for Australian Football, which run the competition. St. Petersburg AFL, and Cats, it's an honorary club that invitational and can be. We still play sometimes, but at this point, so many people and such level playing that now we don't play against Moscow as a St. Petersburg Cats. We just send 2 teams, and we play round robin, and. Part of me a bit feel sorrow for the Cats, but it's absolutely nothing. Thinking that the game is growing, and And to put it a simple idea how it works. In a normal season, it's all revolves around AFL Euro Cup. So where the national teams playing in Europe. So we build the season towards it. We have somewhere around 12 rounds of St. Petersburg Australian Football League from May to September. And also we have game days for St. Petersburg Cup, where we invite Moscow. We play invitational, like test matches in Moscow as a part of the season. And also in 2019, we had great success with the Baltic Cup. So first Baltic Cup we hosted in St. Petersburg in 2017, where Helsinki Head Seekers came to St. Petersburg. And in 2019 we organized a tournament in Tallinn, in Estonia. So it's a country near St. Petersburg, near Finland.
Yeah.
And it was huge success in terms that we had people from Finland, from Sweden, from Poland, from Moscow. And my idea of St. Petersburg being the hub for Nordic footy really came true. So
sure. Slava, venues, there wouldn't be too many circular or round ovals, I imagine, in Russia. A lot of the national games, sports in Russia, I imagine, would be soccer and played on square pitches. So how do you go about finding grounds to play on? And do you have your own ground?
Yeah.
How does it work?
So to put it simple, in all major competition in Europe played 9-a-side. So because it's a format that adopted by AFL Europe, all major AFL Europe competition
Sure.
played 9-a-side, and we have special adopted rules for the oval. So basically, what you do, you have soccer or rugby pitch, and you just round the corners with how do you call them, the cones,
Yep.
the plastic stuff that you put to mark on the training session. So it's quite simple. It's simple to, especially simple to make it from the rugby pitch, because you have the goalposts and you just put the behind post near. And we playing on the in St. Petersburg. We play on the varsity pitch of one of the rugby club. So it's a university we have agreement with, and it's a nice green pitch, and we have very high goal posts, and we found our way to organize with special tubes. We put their behind posts, and I think the only thing that we can improve at this point is that we need to provide goalpost paddings, because it's had near collisions last week, so it's the only area of the goal.
Yeah, that makes sense. The padding around the goalposts, as you would have seen. Do you barrack for an AFL team here in the country? You follow the Australian competition really closely?
I try. So to be honest, I followed it more precisely a few years ago. Now I see more games from the field in St. Petersburg AFL, probably.
Sure.
But no, I'm following the competition. We have their Russian broadcasting channels that before that it was Eurosport 2. Now it's Viasat Sport, where you can watch a few. I would say four games around, something like this. And the time, it's usually during the work day or Sunday, and I have the TV on when it's Friday games, and one on Sunday, and during the day I'm home. I'm watching it too. So my team to follow is the Geelong Cats, so it's happened that way, and I know that people who play, they're following the game. They saying each other, hey, you must watch how they played on the big league to understand how to move, how to flow the attack. So yeah, so we're following it too.
Excellent. That's great. It's a fantastic thing to see our game being played internationally, just for the sheer love of it, Clayton, and the opportunity to speak to you, Slava, and talk about the very grassroots of a sport like ours internationally is exciting. I mean, we've talked to Brian Barish in the United States before about what they're going through and how they're building the game over there. But AFL Europe is obviously taking off, and you've touched on some of the competitions that you've been playing or that you have played in the past against other European teams. What's next for you? When does your season finish, and when will you be playing against an international team again?
First of all, I just want to say that, believe it or not, I happened to play in the U.S. in 2016, and I can tell that the year for us it's a cosmic level. So I visited the U.S. As part of my business trip, and it happened that the team Fort Lauderdale,
yes,
with their they were located in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
And I went to the training and they say, hey, how do you want to go playing nationals final in Sarasota? I said, well, okay. So I joined the team, and it was 2-day experience, and it was the last time I played full oval. It reminds me that the full oval and nine-a-side are a bit different games, so it feels differently, and I can say that they're doing a tremendous job there. So it's they have women competition with 2 groups of women playing. So men in 3 divisions, and it was like I don't know. I never been to Disneyland, but it's probably what it feels like. So yeah, and and it's another my idea that if you're Australian, you hearing this interview, and I know that you probably will go to when all this finished, to travel somewhere, spend time or teaching for work in Europe or other places. Just Google the nearest footy club and come to kick a ball. It would help a lot because, for example, in St Petersburg, we have no Australians at all, almost. So this season we have one other person, and because all Australians in Russia, they tend to go to Moscow, so the salary is higher.
Yeah.
Any person who can know how to kick the ball, footy, and handball it, it helps to watch it, and it helps the local community to grow. And as for us, what's next for us? We very dependent on the current situation because Russia is not part of the EU. So for us, it's even harder than for all other European countries to make any forecast what's going to happen because travel visas are not issuing now. We're not professional club. Sport, we cannot apply for sports visas. We travel as a leisure. If everything would go really well and extremely well, but probably won't, we will finish our season somewhere in September, and in early October we will go to the Netherlands, to Amsterdam to play AFL Euro Cup. So it's a 1-day 19-a-side competition where national teams compete. Where no Australians allowed generally, because it's some exceptions for developing countries. So if, for example, if your first season, you can have Aussies on board just to grow the game, to promote it. And last time the competition we played in 2019 in Sweden. Sweden is a big country for Australian football in Europe, and it was at that time it was most successful for the Russian national team. We lost the final of the lower bracket, so it was a 10th place for us. We lost Scotland. And it's really a shame that all this happened for our community, because we had this momentum, we had it rolling, and now we stuck a bit. But it's okay. So we know where we finish. We probably will go back rolling. But speaking of the bigger goal for where we're heading, so it's our international cup played in Australia, in Melbourne, for the international national teams all across the world. It's our big goal, but as a first step, we need to play full oval 18 aside as a Russian national team at least once. And I think it's our big goal.
Sure. Well, I think if our game is suited to any nation of people around the globe, it's the Russian people. It's a game of courage, skill, and of course intellect. And I think the Russian people, yourself included, Slava, have demonstrated that over many, many years. So I'm not surprised that you've taken to it. And are making it your own. We wish you well with it, and thank you very much for speaking with us today here on the Sports Fix and helping us understand what our great game is like internationally.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, when it's all finished, so please come and watch it in person. So again, it's from late May to August. St Petersburg, best city in the world. And so we play footy here, so we love it. We grow it, and I do believe that Australian football is really one of the greatest sports in the world, and it's easy to grasp. It's very fun to play, and it's just amazing experience, both watching professionally and playing as a grassroots.
Thank you very much, Slava. All the best with the St Petersburg Cats, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.